What's up, everybody? Lately, there's been a lot of tweets going around about possible roster changes and people saying after so many likes, I'll release X and X rosters. So, without any likes, let's talk about them. What's up, everybody? Lawler here, inside source for all things Rocket League. There's been a lot of conversations about what's going on in North America. What are some of these roster changes? What the heck's going on? And we'll save those for the end. So if you want to skip ahead, timestamps down below. But we're going to talk about a bunch of European roster changes, some things that are in the works, some teasers, obviously some rumors, some confirmed. And then we've got some rumors for you all that are whisperings of things I've been hearing that I'm going to make public. So we'll see how this goes. Up first, one that has been talked about a couple times on this channel, but is now officially confirmed. Shoutouts to Scrubkilla finding a new home. He is officially with Dignitas. For those that don't know, he is one of the youngest competitors, yet one of the most accomplished veterans in Rocket League history. With this world champion on our side, our sights are set on our second Rocket League Esports World Championship. Welcome to Dignitas, Scrubkilla, and they have a video announcing the fact that Scrubkilla is going to be joining Joriz and Jack coming into the RLCS 11 season, which is really interesting. There's a lot of conversations that have been going around whether this will fit or not. I do have my own concerns, but something that's really interesting is coming from Scrub himself, talking about how Jack is a really good leader and how he doesn't want to be that person on a team. He is there to help facilitate and basically fill in the gaps for a roster, which does seem to be more of a mentality shift. In the past, it felt like Scrub did his best when he was leading the charge, creating the opportunities. And it seems now that he's taking more of a backseat approach and trying to enable his teammates, which makes sense when you got Joriz and Jack on the front. So very excited for this team, excited to see how things go. And I'm glad to say that it's finally official. Dignitas saying that Scrubkilla is joining the team. Will be a different change of pace. Hopefully no drama around this one, Scrub, but glad to see you found a new home, bud. Up next, a bunch of teams that we're getting some glimpses at in the Community Open. If you guys don't know, BS Plus Competition was holding their second tournament. More details on that in tomorrow's video alongside a bunch of other videos. Make sure you guys don't miss out on that. Hit subscribe, notifications down below. But we will be seeing some of the rosters that are actually competing there and getting some insight into some of the rosters. There's been a lot of rumors about these, but we are seeing them into play, whether these are just official tryouts or people trying to see how the team would play in a competitive environment. Either way, I'm all for it. The first one is going to be Team Liquid, who are trying out Oski, who is a young 14-year-old player who is good. Very, very talented as a player, but will not be 15 until February of 2022, which is really weird to say. So I don't know if this is just kind of seeing and hoping in the future, but the difficulty is if the seasons line up the way I think they're going to, that means that they're not going to be able to pick up a player like this until mid or very early on into the second split of the season already, which I think already puts them in a pretty rough spot. So it does seem like, and from the looks of things, Ronicky and Acronic are pretty much locked in. It does seem like that is going to be one of the combinations that is almost guaranteed, and then they're just trying to find a third along with that, as we've heard rumors of a bunch of other different tryouts for that third spot. But Oski is the latest one, which is pretty interesting to me. On the other side of things, too, you're also getting some glimpses at some other teams. The first one for me is Rix.GG, and the reason why I bring up this team next is because we have yet to see what's going on with Fruity and Speed, and it does look like Speed is going to be the third and is trying out with Rix.GG alongside Mike Boy and Ocelon. And the results have happened so far in some of these tournaments where we have gotten glimpses of how these teams are going to perform, and they are towards the top. So there is still a lot of high-profile talent in teams missing from this tournament, but at the end of the day, it is a early glimpse at some of these rosters performing, and the fact that Speed is possibly going to Rix.GG. Should be interesting to see if that one plays out. Alongside that, there's also the Flying Dutchman, and no, I'm not talking about the Flying Dutchman from Season 1 and Season 2 who didn't have a sub, who forgot to qualify. I'm talking about the Flying Dutchman of New, a team that played in the Intel World Open together, a team that might possibly have Virge, their coach, moving to the Netherlands to live with ViolentPanda. Maybe. I don't know. Virge is tweeting that he's going to the Netherlands or somewhere over in that neck of the woods, and he and ViolentPanda are extremely close, so maybe they're rooming together. That's where my theory is going for the brain. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But the Flying Dutchman, alongside the Intel World Open team with Dole, Oli, and ViolentPanda, seems to be like it is becoming more and more of a thing, and Virge is going to try to move to make that happen. That is basically what I am inferring from the tweet. Whether that is true or not, I do not know, but it is wishful thinking, and I hope success and nothing but. Also in that tournament, we are seeing some things that are happening alongside Guild. Obviously, there's been rumors of it being Bluey as their new third, and getting to see Devo and Bluey back together since the OG Savage days with FC Barcelona as well, when it was those two and Alpha 54 competing together. But Bluey and Devo getting back together, and both Team Liquid and Guild have a lot of things in common. I went back and watched their series, and I'll talk about that more in tomorrow's video. But yeah, some interesting looks on that. BS Plus Competition, who is putting on this, is also competing with Freaking Godsmiller. They have not announced who the third is going to be on the roster, but a lot of things pointing towards Reezers or Rezer. I don't know how to say his name. I apologize, man. A really talented 1v1 player, but that is pretty much everybody who's coming into the scene nowadays. So that is what things are hinting at. Either way, we will not know until they end up playing, which I'm pretty sure won't be until the last day. So we won't see them play until tomorrow. So keep an eye out on that. We might get some more insight into that. Their group is pretty rough alongside Atlantide Wave and German Amigos. So I'm looking forward to BS Plus and German Amigos hopefully being the top two based upon how things go, but Atlantide has played upset in the past. Now we've got our confirmations and all of our European stuff out of the way. Let's talk about North America. There's been some interesting things and whisperings and things I've heard, not only from my inside sources, but also players and everything else. So the heck with it. Let's just talk about it. Let's get it out there. First things first, a lot of people wondering what's going on with G2. Is G2 going to be with Firstkillers? They're going to stick around with Drees? What is going on? According to the people that I've talked to and the people that have told me things, there is a situation where G2 is actually going to be staying the same. As of right now, it does look like Drees will still be with G2. And from what I've heard, this is due to contract reasons, whether it be them not releasing him, whether him not being able to get a buyout, whatever the situation is. I personally do not know the details of it. But when I was talking to my sources, they did state that it is likely that Drees is actually going to be staying with G2 due to contract reasons. What those reasons may be specifically, I do not know, but it is looking like it is still going to stay Chicago, JNAPS, and Drees. That looks like what the situation is going to be. And part of that reason is because of what's going on with Firstkiller. Firstkiller obviously having a ton of options as a free agent this offseason, and it looks like he is pretty solidified with FaZe. This also was discussed in cryptic messaging, which it wasn't cryptic at all. It was pretty straightforward from Garrett G on his stream when he was doing his top player lists for North America. And Firstkiller was, I guess, upset because Garrett didn't put him at S tier or whatever it may be. And then both him and Chicago hinted at it, but it is, and this is also what I've been hearing for a while, is it does seem like Firstkiller has decided to go with FaZe alongside both Illusion as well as AJ, which to me on paper looks like a very dangerous team. That also then makes me wonder what's happening with Gyro, and it looks like Gyro is going to just be doing a little bit of swapsies. From what I've been hearing, it sounds like Gyro's pretty solidified despite all of his tryouts with other teams, version 1 included. Looks like he's going to be going over to Rogue to join Taroko and Turin Turo. Whether they have plans in the future or going to make some massive money from the Firstkiller deal and then hope the ability to go and get someone like Daniel when he's available. These are all things that people are thinking about, whether it is true or not, whether those are the intentions. We won't know until we hear them from the source directly, whether it be Rogue or the players. Now, I do mention version 1 and Gyro trying out and being in regards to that. It does look like based upon the current options that are out there, version 1 is most likely going to stay the same with Torment, Gimmick, and Calm. Whether that will stay the same or otherwise, I am happy to see that. A lot of teams are obviously trying and testing out and a bunch of different things. Now understand, everything I just said is rumors, things that I'm hearing from inside sources, nothing that is confirmed. These are just things that are currently in motion or happening. Whether they get locked in, whether contracts get signed, whether we have other situations like we did with the Team Queso situation continuing, that stuff we do not know. These are not official. These are not guaranteed. These are things that I've heard and things that have been told to me by my sources on the inside of the player-based scene, coaches, whatever you want to detail it as. Inside sources is what's going to encompass all of that. And these are the things I've been hearing. So Firstkiller possibly to FaZe, Drees sticking with G2, and Gyro going to Rogue, version 1 staying the same. That's what we have. Now, I said no likes were necessary, but if you guys do enjoy this kind of stuff, make sure you guys like the video. And if you want to stay up to date, make sure you guys hit subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.